Hi, I'm Corey Stonebridge, and we're doing another episode of our weekly forecasts. This time we're dealing with the water signs, and we're going to be starting with Pisces. Each of them has the same similar flow, where it's going to be a 7-card layout in front of me. I'm going to offer a talisman, which will be a crystal, and then some animal medicine as well. The animal medicine and talisman will be kind of like things to remember to hold back on, to rely on throughout your week when you're going through things. So like for Pisces, for example, it's focusing on the resourcefulness and the ability to adapt, and then you pair that with the Amazonite for the communication aspect and the strengthening of your voice. We get a reminder for Pisces week ahead, for example, is to really take in we know what we need to do, we have all the resources necessary, we just need to adapt. And the adding to the adapt part is also remembering to use our voice in powerful ways rather than lacking of powerful ways. Don't say things that you don't mean. That's not a powerful thing. Speak with purpose and dignity. We're starting with Pisces, and we're starting with the 5 of Swords, going to the 5 of Pentacles. Starting with a 5 and ending with a 5 usually means that we're not really having a lot of progress as far as like how things are going to move along. It usually means that we're staying in the same phase. That this thing that we're dealing with in the coming week might persist for more than 1 week. It might bleed into the following. So we're starting with the 5 of Swords, moving into the Strength card, followed by the 8 of Wands, the Queen of Wands, the Fool card, the 2 of Cups, and ending again with the 5 of Pentacles. So, as your week moves forward through the 5 of Swords, the Strength card, and the 8 of Wands, we're noticing that a lot of our plans are kind of falling through and aren't coming to pass the way that we planned them because we didn't really use the plan. We got a little too rash and a little too hasty, and it created the outcomes that weren't desired. But taking the time to harden some of those skills and cooling off a little bit before making decisions and choices will reveal better options as we move through the things ahead. So, Pisces, for midweek, we're getting to finding our voice where the Amazonite and the resourcefulness is going to come in. Around midweek, we're going to need to use our voice, our ability to adapt in a situation to bring about new options and outcomes that were previously unavailable to us. We couldn't reach them because of insert reason barrier here. When I look at this, it makes me think our actions and decision making were not lined up with what we actually wanted, and we're seeing that shift now into what we do want, and so it feels like there's more options available to us when in reality they were always there. There were just kind of like barriers before that were petty ones. Okay. There's going to be some choices that you get to make now because of these new options. If they feel lonely, but you feel at the same time more satisfied, that's the route you should be taking. Because the loneliness thing will ebb and flow, but is technically part of the test of kind of like molding yourself into what you want to be. And so you need to be comfortable with that level of loneliness that you'll kind of feel like. If the decision that you're coming to means that you're going to be pulled away from people that you care about, there are resources available to keep you connected with them. And remember to communicate. So don't be afraid to make decisions right now that might take you away from your family and your loved ones, because you might need a period of growth. So this might be why we're saying that we're kind of here still at the end of the week with a 5 and the starting of the week with a 5. So your reading as a whole is mostly just kind of like use your voice, adapt when you absolutely have to, and then this is going to create new options, and then stick to the choice that you make and follow through with it. That just the two of us. Cancer. Okay. So next are the Cancer signs. Their talisman this week is going to be our smoky quartz, which is going to be protection from negativity, self-destructive behavior, and illness and destruction. Just kind of like, this is your amulet of protection. Like, yeah, And then we have the Deer card, which everyone in our house refers to as the goddess or the lady. Her message is about gentleness and finding ways to be compassionate and nurturing and forgiving when you'd normally wish to be angry, destructive, and aggressive. So your theme this week is to remember that protect yourself from the BS and repay it with nurturing, forgiveness, and support, especially when we're going through this particular week. Because this week you're starting with the Nine of Swords and ending with the Empress. Ending with the Empress, she amplifies all the cards around her to bring abundance of whatever they symbolize. She also is a really great indicator for unexpected gifts, plans, and just overall blessings. So if it feels like a hard time, it could be a blessing in disguise. It could be a lesson. So your reward was, here's a slap in the face of something difficult, but like you're stronger now. So remember that the start of our week is going to be with the Nine of Swords, the Hermit card, and the King of Pentacles, which kind of makes us come to the conclusion that we're getting kind of depressed because of changes in our job and changes at home, which makes us feel like we need to retreat for the long haul. Like for the most of the week, we're going to be kind of like secluded, pulled back, not really a part of things. We're trying to look to the big picture because maybe something in our home or job has been threatened. And given the current state of the world, I would see why that would be pretty common. Remember that this, to be aware of your stubbornness, to be aware of your lack of focus. Don't get stuck. Don't become kind of like a horse with their blinders on who can't move. Be flexible, because deers are agile. So let's go back to your mentor being the deer. She's agile, she's quick. So don't get stuck in a rivet. Like you can find your way out of it. You just need to be a little clever. Try not to be foolhardy in your way of doing things, or just because of this upset. Like, don't take it out on your environment. Don't take it out on people around you. By the end of the week, you're going to be presented with opportunities that are going to focus your willpower and your energy to become back in alignment, which is going to create a flow again. This flow will bring about to you a multitude of blessings and obstacles, so just kind of be prepared for that. So now we're doing Scorpio, the water signs. So next we're doing Scorpio, and that's going to kind of round out the end of our water signs. We are starting with the Two of Wands and ending with the Eight of Pentacles. So it makes me think that we're learning new skills this week, and we're applying different forms of focus and willpower as we're moving forward. Your talisman is going to be your selenite. Ooh, mine's broken. And the dolphin for your animal medicine. Selenite is going to be focusing on how to draw away negative thoughts, feelings, emotions, and stagnant energy. It's also going to be your alignment to your feminine qualities of intuition, dreaming, and your overall water qualities. The dolphin card here is to remind us to jump, play, and follow the ebb and flow of the tops of the waves, because that's going to be where we're spending most of our time. We're not delving deep with necessarily heavy emotion. And if we do, there's going to be moments where we're going to feel like the dolphin that we need to shoot back up and get some air, or else we'll drown. Okay, so we're starting with the Two of Wands, going into the Hanged Man, followed by the Five of Cups, the Three of Wands, Five of Swords, Queen of Wands, and our Eight of Pentacles. So this week seems to be about pulling back the curtain and then kind of dealing with whatever is on the other side of it. We're finding life is going to make us feel a little bit out of our depth. That's the swimming too deep and needing to skyrocket to get some fresh air. So that's going to be when we move out of the beginning of the week and into the middle of the week, and we're focusing more on making strong plans. Probably because we've been noticing that plans have been falling through lately and we need to make more concrete ones. Remember that practice breeds success. So when earlier I was talking about how there's a chance for you to be learning new skills, presented here in the cards, from midweek into the rest of the week, we're seeing this kind of I'm challenging myself to learn and do something new, and it just requires more practice. So I would say really focus yourself on making time for that practice and learning those new sets of skills, whether they're forms of communication, proper boundaries, maybe it's you're learning like a tactical skill or maybe a professional skill, I'm not completely sure, or maybe you're learning a whole new trade. But it just shows that we're trying to do work on us. We're trying to make us more applicable, more able-bodied, more self-sustaining. Remember to take time with new things and to be patient with yourself. That's the whole ebb and the flow with the dolphin medicine of going, we can push hard under the water really hard and swim fast and strong, but we're still needing to come up to get air, which is our assister. So that's going to be checking in with our support system, with our mentors and things like that as we're learning. So that's going to round out our Scorpio reading. We're going to also focus on like kind of the theme that the water signs were getting next. So we got the Five of Swords, the Fool card, and the Two of Wands kind of appeared most commonly in these particular things, which is a strong message of haste makes waste, and don't let a bruised ego influence your situations at all. Leave that crap behind. Like don't get in your own way. You don't need it. So remember that if you'd like readings like these, my name is Coriander Stoneridge. You can follow me on Instagram. Remember to hit that like, comment, and subscribe. On Instagram, you can follow me at Coriander Stoneridge or at Coriander's Tarot. And yeah, the next part's the outro, I think.